What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Now, we've done a lot of our episodes on snakes, different types of reptiles, a couple on some of our mammals, but we really haven't done a whole lot about our marine life. So today, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite exhibits here at the aquarium. This is our pirate ship exhibit. And as you can see, it's just chock full with a bunch of amazing, really cool different varieties of marine fish. Now these are all tropical species, look at that. You can tell they definitely know where to get a close up of that. How cool is that? All of those guys coming up because they see my hand over top. We've got a bunch of different types of fish today. I'm gonna tell you about a couple of them and we'll go kind of some fun facts about them. We'll talk about some general species like angelfish and tangs, which makes up the majority of what we have in this exhibit. So let's start off with doing a little bit of feeding so you can see what you can do when you're here at the aquarium. Now they'll get a variety of food here. We have krill for the more carnivorous fish in here, and we also have sushi nori for the tangs mostly, since most tangs are gonna be pretty much herbivores, but as they get bigger, they'll eat a little bit more of the meaty foods. Now take a look at that. Wow. Now I love the fish that just gulp in big amounts of water to be able to suck in that krill. That's super cool to me. Now, let's start off with one of my personal favorite fish here in this exhibit. Now this guy right here, take a look. Oh. Now I had a feeling with filming this video, it's gonna be a little bit trickier because the fish are just moving around the exhibit all the time. But this guy we're getting a close-up of, that is a flamingi tang, also known as, this is my favorite, a big-nosed unicorn fish. Now he's got a super fun name and he's a very, very cool, oh, we have another one here. That one's a lot darker, you can see. But the cool thing about the flamingi tang is they can drastically, here he's coming back around, they can drastically change their colors. Now I've seen this big one, you can see he can be light gray or dark gray, but I've actually seen his body get almost charcoal black and his face white. It looks like a skull mask. And he'll get really excited. His color will really change. One of my favorite fish in here because of that reason. Now this is also going to be a very big fish, the potential of getting 2 feet long. And here's the kicker, the flamingi tang can live for 45 years. That's right, 45 years, that's a long time for a fish. One of the coolest fish in this exhibit, in my opinion. I know when you might look at them, they might not catch your eye, but knowing a couple things about them, how big they can get, how long they can live, and how they can change, just look at them. That's such a smart fish. Now, let's talk a little bit about tangs in general. We have another tang behind this guy. Now, what's cool about tangs, they're also known as surgeon fish because of their defense mechanisms. They have spines that are super sharp along their back, and they're almost as sharp like a scalpel, right? That's kind of why they call them a surgeon fish. So they're gonna use those spines for defense. So definitely don't want to try to grab a tang or anything like that because they will use those spines. Now, let's talk a little bit about angelfish. You can see we have an angelfish right here. We have a couple different species in this exhibit. Now, there's actually about 86 different species of angelfish in the world. We've got another one right here. Oh, there you go. Now, cool thing about angelfish, when they're born, they're gonna have a totally different coloration than what they're gonna look like as adults. It's a pretty drastic change. So when they're born, totally different coloration than when they're adults, which I think is pretty cool. Now, another thing about angelfish, there's actually a species called the gray angelfish, and that guy can get about 2 feet long as well. So, variety of different sizes. You can see a plethora of different colors with angelfish also, which I think is really, really cool. Now let's see if this big guy comes over here. Let me get some more food. They're very food motivated, just like me, which is why I bond so well with the fish, right? Now, I'm looking for the big guy. Let's see. this big remora. Now he's gonna be this big one right up in front. You can see he's taking the krill. There you go. Now, cool thing about a remora is they actually have a suction cup on the top of their head. And they're gonna use that suction cup. Let's see if they'll come over here a little bit more. Come on, big guy. But they're gonna use that suction cup to suction onto sharks, bigger fish like that. They're actually called as shark sucker fish as well, because they'll use that suction cup and hang on with sharks. Now, the reason they're gonna do that is they're getting any food that the shark is leaving behind. Also, when they're suctioning onto the shark, they're able to save a lot of energy because they don't have to swim. The shark is doing it for them. Yeah, look at that guy. Really cool. Now that suction cup is on the top of his head, like I said, so sometimes when they're on sharks, they are upside down, but they don't seem to mind it one bit. Now let's see if I can see another one of these guys that I want to talk about. We've got a couple different types of pufferfish in here as well. You can see we've got that little tiny guy, and that is a dog-faced pufferfish. Now he doesn't look like your stereotypical puffer when you think of pufferfish, but he is a puffer. Now let's see if we can have, there we go, this guy, let's see if that little guy will come back to us and we'll kind of talk about him. Now, this, I knew this was gonna happen when we were talking about fish, right? Every time I point at them, they're gonna swim away, which is why we do a lot more videos with snakes. But let's see if we can get that little guy to come back around. We're gonna talk about the Hawaiian state triggerfish, also known as the Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apawa'a. Say that 5 times fast, right? Let's see if he'll come back around. Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apawa'a. Nope. Like we have in a couple of our other videos, right? Animals do what they want to do, and that's totally fine. If they want to come over, we can chat about them. But if not, no worries, right? Let's see. No, he's being silly. Okay, that's fine, right? Now let's see. Let's see. Come back over. Well, we've got a bunch of different types of fish in here, right? I'd love it if the Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apawa'a would come over, but he just doesn't want to cooperate today, which is fine. When you come in the aquarium, I'm sure you know what they look like. Let's see, I might even have a sign on these guys. There we go. They look like that guy right there, and you can see all those letters involved in his name. There's a lot to it. Awesome. Now look at that response. You can see we've got the Flamingi Tang, we've got our friend the Remora, a bunch of different type of angels. We've got some more Tangs over here. Remember, they're also called a surgeonfish because they have those spines on their back, right? And they're gonna use those spines as a form of self-defense. Man, every time I come to this exhibit, it just amazes me how responsive these fish are. You know, they're a lot smarter than people give them credit for. You can see they understand what the hand means. They even can almost, I feel like they can tell my blue shirt when I'm walking by because they'll be super responsive to me. Wow, I just love this exhibit. So much different colors, a variety of different species from all over the planet. Wow, cool fish, right? Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit different, right? Because fish are a lot harder to video because they're gonna do whatever they wanna do. You can't really train a fish. It's a lot harder to train a fish, which is why we do a lot of videos on snakes and stuff like that where I can show you a little bit closer. But I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite marine exhibits, and I'm glad we got to do this. Oh, look at that. They kind of scattered. So I'm glad we got to do this today. Remember, folks, if you're not already, make sure you like this video. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll catch you on the next video.